Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Hey, everybody, John here. I wanted to hop on today and talk about priority zero. What is priority zero, you ask? Good question. So today was a priority zero day for me. That is when everything is a priority, so nothing is a priority. You walk in the door, you have your plan laid out, you got your to-do list, following your routine, your morning routine, you're checking whatever, your email. I normally get in and I check my email first, and 2 emails into the day, boom, priority comes across your desk. What do? Well, you got to address the priority. You're barely through that first priority, and guess what? Another hot potato comes through, and it just seems to snowball throughout the day. Everything is like critical mass. You may have some things you've had on the back burner, and those are priority today. You may have some things you haven't even seen, and those things pop up, right? So I like to call this priority zero today, and I'm sure all you frontline leaders out there have had a day that you can probably label priority zero, where it's just like you're firefighting. Everything is a priority. You got tons of burning platforms out there, and you are just in reaction mode. You can't even take a deep breath to get proactive because everything is just coming at you like the speed of light. So what do? When you have that, when you're in the mix of things, when you're in the thick of it, and you're dealing with a priority zero day, the very first thing I do myself is I take a deep breath. I don't overreact. I tell myself doesn't have anything to do with me. A lot of the things, that are coming or came on today were either, byproducts of a process, or it may have been, we had a big weather day today, and I was dealing with making sure that people were making it into town. They were safe. We had projects kicking off that we needed people here for. Those things were delayed. It was like anything that could go wrong was like going wrong today, and everything I needed to address. So take a deep breath. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, I mentioned, don't overreact. Don't fire off, a response because you're overwhelmed, and then now that just creates a bigger firestorm that you have to deal with later on. So don't overreact. Triage. That's the third thing that I start doing, is I start triaging all the priorities that are coming in. Everything that is coming in, whether it's email, whether they're phone calls, whether they're text messages, I start triaging. I worked in the hospital for many, many years, and whenever we got very busy, we triaged. So as a frontline leader, when you are busy and it feels like things are getting overwhelmed, you don't have any more beds at the, down in the emergency room, you have to triage. You have to start looking at priority. You have to rank things and then start addressing the most critical tasks first. The things that you can, 1, that are, need to address ASAP. And then 2, I also look at anything that I can quickly move off of my plate. Okay. And that speaks to the 4th thing. You have to delegate. Delegate where is necessary. And what I mean there is anything that doesn't require your immediate attention, or maybe you need supplemental information in order to make a decision, an informed decision, delegate that. Put somebody on getting the data. Put somebody on the report. Allow others to make decisions where appropriate. Now, ultimately, you as the leader are still going to be responsible for that decision, but it helps to let others make decisions, at least in that moment, so that piece is solved. Now, they're informed decisions, and you trust these individuals to make the decisions, but decisions need to be made, and you can't make all of them at that time, so delegate those decisions down. The very last thing that I would tell you is to finish what you can. So going back to anything that I can get off my plate at that time, whether it's a signature on a document, sometimes it's that simple, right? That somebody's waiting for me to sign a document so that way it can go on in the process. Do that first. Right? You get that sense of accomplishment, it builds a little motivation. You can take another deep breath, you sigh of relief that you got something done, and then go on to the next. Make a list. That's the other thing I do. I'll make a list of everything that's came in, and then I'll start starring things. So everything that I got to get to, like ASAP within the next hour, I put a star by it. Everything that can wait, I may put 2 stars by it. As things change priority, or as things check off my list, I start checking off the stars. So I get down. Again, it goes back to that motivation thing. where you're working towards an end, right? You're working towards the end of the day. I mean, that clock is just ticking by as it was today. We got through the day. I trusted others. I delegated decisions. I made a list. We got as much done as we possibly can. Some things solve themselves. So like those very low priority items on your list, I will, mark with the triangle, a delta, and that allows me to monitor it. So I know that, I got to have an awareness of it, but I also know that people are working in the background to hopefully alleviate that situation. So if you're having a priority 0 today, remember, take a deep breath. All right. Triage. Begin to write a list. However you want to notate on that list, priority, start prioritizing or start making sure that you're addressing the thing that needs your most immediate attention. Figure that out and do it. And then get as much done as you can. All right. Move those easy tasks off your plate. Start addressing the bigger tasks. And I promise you, the day's going to come to an end and you're going to look back and you're going to have all those experiences to look back on and to reflect on. Make sure that you capture those best practices. What could you have done better? You as a leader, what could your team have done better? Those types of things. Remember, in every emergency situation or emergent situation that you have, there are lessons to be learned. So take those lessons away, make sure that you're documenting them, and then thank the people that helped you. Thank them, send a thank you email, make sure that you reach out to them and say, hey, listen, yesterday was pretty busy. I appreciate you helping me out. That goes a long way. A thank you does. You wouldn't believe how crucial that is to thank your folks for, getting you through, because that's what a team does. We look out for each other, and that's what a leader does, is we show gratitude to our team. I hope this helped someone today. Go be great. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.